The NFL draft almost a week away, 10 days away from the NFL draft taking place in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Who will the Jets select with the number 7 overall pick? That's been the hottest topic among Jet fans the past few weeks, even months for those who are really interested in the draft. But according to one reporter, ESPN's Rich Cimini, the Jets have begun to narrow their list of prospects down, and it seems that one of 3 prospects will hear their name called with the 7th overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft. Who are those prospects? We'll talk about that and much more, all coming up here on a Tuesday edition of NY Flight Jets Talk, right here, right now.
Jets, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today? ESPN writer, Mr. Rich Cimini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer, and Jets legend, Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
What is going on, everyone? Hello and welcome back here to another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk. Appreciate you all tuning in here on this Tuesday, April 15th. 2025. Make sure you all smash that like button. And you are subscribed to the channel on your way into the building, completely free. And it really does help us grow significantly here on the show. Can't thank you guys enough for all your support. Sorry I wasn't here yesterday. I think like the first day in 2.5 months or something like that. We haven't done a show to deal with some personal nonsense, but that was handled. We're back and we're here every day talking Jets. So if you're new, make sure you smash the like, hit subscribe if you're returning. Appreciate your support. As always, like, share, and subscribe, though. Completely free, helps us grow significantly. The paid way to help support the show, and it gives you the chance to win some special items. You can get into our membership raffle. Every membership gifted or $2.99 super chat will get you an entry into our raffle. Prize we're giving away this month included Don Maynard signed photo, Joe Klecko signed jersey, Joe Namath replica Super Bowl III ring, a CJ Mosley signed jersey, a free item from our merch store channel emoji. Make sure you get in on that if you haven't already. The more tickets you have, the higher chance you have to win. Every $2.99 super chat or gifted membership will get you an entry. Can't thank enough for all your support. Like, share, and subscribe. Any questions? You guys know the drill. Feel free to throw those in the chat. You can call into the show with the pinned comment. We'll get to your calls, questions, and much more all tonight on this Tuesday here on NY Flight Jets Talk. But let's really dive into the main topic of tonight's video, a report that came out from Rich Cimini on Sunday that kind of detailed inside the Jets draft plans a little, because we know this team is this new regime. Their goal is to be very discreet. They don't want any leaks, but I mean, kind of reading through the tea leaves, kind of looking at this team's positions, overall needs, what they've said, announcing that Elijah Vera Tucker will be playing guard at the owners meetings. Some things have been tipped to the sense where a lot of people have and some reports, I'll throw that in there as well, kind of narrowed it down to the fact, well, the Jets are picking between Armand Membou or Tyler Warren with the 7th overall pick. Well, Cimini kind of confirmed those two, Membou and Warren, as front runners, but he also threw in LSU's Will Campbell. And that's pretty interesting. I'll kind of say the exact quote of what Cimini wrote. He wrote this a few days ago. With 11 days to go before the draft, the top candidates for the Jets at pick at number 7 are tackles Will Campbell, Armand Membou, and Tyler Warren. This is based on conversations with league sources. So based on the people he's spoken with, he's kind of hearing that the finalists to be selected at number 7 overall are Campbell, Membou, and Warren. I'm going to start with Membou. We know the most about him. He's someone who a lot of fans like. He seems to be the consensus favorite. Ever since his showing at the NFL Combine, which was highly impressive, he's really skyrocketed up draft boards. 331 pounds, 4.91 40-yard dash, 9.89 RAS score, which is highly impressive. I use NFL mock draft databases, Consensus Big Board. It's super, super helpful. It takes in, I think, like tens of thousands of mock drafts and averages it together and basically lists players on a Consensus Big Board. It does a great job of averaging where the players will actually be selected on draft night. Since late January, Membou was ranked 32nd there, I think. Now he's ranked 8th. Just a really, really high rise for someone who had an impressive showing at the Combine. And look, he wasn't that hyped up before the Combine, but it's not like he had some sluggish season overall and just went in the Combine and impressed. He put together a solid 2024 season, played right tackle, didn't allow a sack, didn't allow a hit, played 411 snaps. He only gave up 8 pressures, and I mean, that's just pass protection. 87.6 run blocking grade from PFF, which is highly impressive. So no, Membu, if you guys been listening to the show, you know Membu certainly is not my number one option for the Jets at the number 7 overall pick, but it's not a pick that I'm going to be disappointed in. If the Jets take Armand Membu and we hear his name called at number 7 overall, I'm going to be like, all right. I'm not going to be through the moon. I'm not going to be so excited, but I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be like, crap, what is this team doing? Kind of in the middle of the road. I don't like the idea of taking a right tackle at number 7 overall. I really, really don't, especially after you just drafted Olu Fashanu in the top 10 last year. I really want to get a playmaker with the number 7 overall pick, and Armand Membu, in my eyes, doesn't fit that bill. So, again, not a pick I'm going to hate, but not a pick I'm going to be through the moon about. Next up, another guy we're familiar with. We're saving Campbell for last because he's the most intriguing here by far on this list. Tyler Warren. Him and Membu, again, have been going back and forth. Who's the favorite? Those two, seem to be the finalists, for all Jet fans. Who do you want? It's fan base is pretty much split, kind of like the Olu Bowers debate last year. But I mean, Tyler Warren is someone who he spent 5 seasons at Penn State, redshirt season in 2020, but he didn't really break out, make his presence felt till this past season where he pieced together, he won the Mackey Award, solid season overall, 104 receptions for 1,233 yards and 8 touchdowns, also ranked second among FBS tight ends in missed tackles and third in contested catches. So this is someone who's very elusive as a receiving threat. I know a lot of people like him for his blocking. I've been on the record saying, and Joe Blewett, who we had on the show over the weekend, who does a great job breaking down film and covering the Jets in general, my teammate over at JetsXFactor.com, agrees that his blocking technique could certainly use some development at the next level. But I think this is someone you draft who helps fill the void, that position of need for you at the tight end room, provides a receiving threat, red zone target. I really, really like Warren. Is he a perfect prospect? No, but other than Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, I don't view anyone in this draft as a perfect prospect. Right now, he's probably my pick at 7. So Warren, he's my main option, and I'm not even too excited about him. The scenario where I get excited is if you trade back and you get if you tell me you trade back to 9 with the Saints and you pick up Ted McMillan, I would be through the moon about that. That's a situation that's going to make me really, really happy. If you could trade back, add some value, add some more draft picks, get maybe a 3rd round pick, slide back a couple spots, and then you can still get an elite playmaker like Ted McMillan. That is a scenario where I'm going to be super, super happy. I'm going to think, wow, Darren Mushi did a really, really good job of sliding back a couple spots, picking up some extra draft capital, and still being able to land someone who's going to come in and be a playmaker for your team right away. So that's my dream right now. If you could trade back, add some additional draft capital, and still get a legit playmaker who's going to come in and contribute for you right away, I think that's a really, really solid blueprint for success in this league. If you can pick up a 4th pick in the top 75, that would be really, really solid for a team that's looking to add a lot of starters in this year's NFL draft if they really want to compete this upcoming season. That's my dream plan. But back to the list. Last one, someone who hasn't been talked about a ton for the Jets, still highly intriguing though. Will Campbell. I mean, this is someone who is highly, highly touted coming out of college as a 5-star recruit and came into LSU and pretty much made an impact right away. Took over as their starting left tackle during his freshman season. 3 seasons with the Tigers, only 4 sacks he allowed throughout those 3 seasons. Solid against the run, 69.7 run blocking grade from PFF in 2024. I mean, 2024 was just an overall incredible season for Campbell. Won the Jacobs blocking trophy, given to the best offensive lineman and the SEC and consensus All-American honors. The thing that gets interesting with Campbell for the Jets is, one, the Jets don't need a left tackle because they just drafted Olu Fashanu with the 10th, 11th overall pick after they traded down 1 spot last year. That's number 1. Number 2, the arm length is something that concerns him. Overall, you take out the arm length, Campbell put together a solid performance at the combine, but I mean, 32 and 5/8. I think that was his arm length overall, which is a little concerning. And then they grew a few inches by the time of his pro day, which is always a little sketchy. So that's why I like to stick to the combine measurables overall. 6th on the consensus big board that I highly rely on. Campbell could certainly be in play for the Jets at 7. I just don't want him. I don't want to draft someone who has short arms and someone who if you think about it, the only scenario where he really comes in and plays for this team is at right tackle. Do you really want to use the 7th overall pick on someone who you're going to have to worry about swinging over to the right side, someone with short arms? Potentially you're moving him into the inside in just a few seasons anyways. I don't get that. You want to get your offensive lineman, you want to get your right tackle in round 1, boom, that's Armand Membou. Not my favorite pick in the world, but if you want to go right tackle, that is your best option. Will Campbell, we know what he is as a left tackle. He's very solid at the college level. What is he going to look like at the NFL level at that position? We don't know. We've never seen him play right tackle in any sample size either, which is also a little concerning for me. That's why I'm overall on those 3 guys that Cimini listed the Jets could really, really go after. Appreciate you tuning in. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe. Get all your questions in the chat, and you call into the show with the pinned comment. Super chats, memberships, get your raffle entries. They go a long way here on the show. Appreciate your support as always. Like, share, and subscribe. Get all your questions in the chat. Call into the show with the pinned comment. Going to get into another name that Cimini listed in this article, and it wasn't as someone he expects the Jets to go after, but he did note the team is keeping, quote, close tabs on this guy, and a highly, highly intriguing player in this year's draft, and that's Texas A&M defensive lineman Shemar Stewart. The Jets met with him at his pro day, and according to Cimini, they've stayed in touch since. Ranks 13th on the consensus big board. I mean, just a freaking athletic freak. 6'5", 267. I mean, he posted the highest RAS score by a defensive end in combine history. 10.0, perfect 10.0. This is someone who spent all 3 of his college seasons at Texas A&M. The concern with him is his overall production. You're drafting him for his crazy traits because his production is quite troubling when you look at it. 37 games, only 65 tackles, 12 for loss, with 4.5 sacks. You heard it here. 4.5 sacks throughout his 3-season college career at Texas A&M, which is certainly concerning. Here's the thing, though. There's a bit of a catch. 4.5 sacks sounds crazy at first. I mean, it's still a little concerning even when you throw this in, but it is fair to note he totaled 27 pressures throughout his college career. He's someone who's always in the backfield, someone who's always ready to make plays, just can't finish that. So that's a concern. Also solid against the run, 88.2 run defense grade from PFF. Very, very, very versatile. Played most of his snaps off the edge, but lined up over the tackle, guard, and center throughout last season. I mean, look, if Steve Wilkes and Aaron Glenn are looking at versatility, they're looking at an athletic specimen of the defensive line, Stewart should undoubtedly be this pick. Is there a chance Shemar Stewart develops into an incredible NFL player? First 2 years in the league. Do I want to take that risk gambling on pure traits with the number 7 overall pick? Absolutely not. I would rather go with the Tyler Warren, who's going to come in, provide offensive value for you, even an Armand Membou. Again, not my number 1 option, but he'll come in and he'll start a right tackle for you. You're gambling on traits with a top 10 pick. I don't get that. What does that do for your team? Does that really move the needle? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Bringing in a defensive lineman who was just traits. And yes, if you hit on him, you have Myles Garrett, but if you miss on him, you have Vernon Golston, who a lot of people are comparing Shemar Stewart to. That's the main concern. I want to get into a column I wrote, though, for Jet X Factor just a few days ago. I kind of, broke down the trends of the top 30 visits, and one trend that caught my eye, Derek Harmon and Mykel Williams were both in for top 30 visits, and the angle of the column was centered around the fact that these are both projected late round defensive linemen. I couldn't have added this to the art. I actually technically could go back in and re-add this here, but it's pointless at this point. I mean, the article's been up for a few days. I don't think anyone's checking it out 4 days after it happened. But I mean, they hosted Darius Alexander today for a top 30 visit. That's 3 now between Williams, Harmon, and Alexander. Projected late first round defensive linemen they host for top 30 visits. To me, this potentially hints this team is maybe looking to move back in the first round, trade all the way back, maybe in the 20s range, and then select someone, particularly a defensive lineman. But something else that it shows me is maybe they're looking for a trade up from 42. That's a highly intriguing possibility for me. You take your talent, the guy you think is going to come in and contribute for you right away with the number 7 overall pick, and then boom, you piece together a couple assets. So maybe you get Tyler Warren in the first round, then you trade up, and then you get your nice blue chip interior defensive lineman in Derek Harmon or Mykel Williams coming off the edge. So boom, you come away with 2 starters in the first round. I think that could be solid. Like, especially if you see a guy like Harmon falling and he's there at 29. Trade up, 13 spots? That would not be the worst thing in the world by any means. I'm certainly open to that 1,000%. And I mentioned in the article, I would prefer if the Jets took that route over just trading back from 7. That's the route I'd want the Jets to take. I see our guy Oscar the Grouch in the chat. Oscar, I've tried mentioning, I don't know if I've seen you in the chat. You still have not claimed I have it right here, Wayne Corbett signed jersey. Oscar, DM me on Discord, DM me on social media, email me. This jersey is yours. You want it during our membership raffle, so if you want it, send me your info and we'll get it to you. Just wanted to remind you that because I saw you in the chat. Appreciate you tuning in, Oscar, and I appreciate you all sparing some time. That's where I am. So I think if you want to get a defensive lineman in the late first round, the best route is boom. You take your talent, and maybe what you do is you trade back into the first round. Trade up 13 spots. Okay, you give him that 42 pick, obviously, so a pick swap, and maybe you give him one of your fourths, a 4th and a 6th. I would be super, super open to that, just knowing you come away with 2 immediate starters right away who are going to come in and make an impact. If I had to choose one out of those 3, I would choose Michael Williams. This team needs depth coming off the edge. I've been very vocal on how that's a position in need for this team. Edge help. And then on the inside, like Alexander, Harmon, nothing against them. Very solid football players. I just worry about their size and how they fit as a 3-tech next to Quinnen. Quinnen thrives as a 3-tech. I think you need to bring in a 1-tech who's just going to clog up the middle, be a space eater for you. I would take a 1-tech in Tyleik Williams in the 2nd round. I would take a 1-tech in Jamari Caldwell in the 3rd round. I'd take a 1-tech in a guy like Deani Walker from Kentucky in the 3rd round as well, over a 3-tech in round 1 any day of the week. And that just has to do given the fact that you're playing next to Quinnen Williams. I think drafting Mason Graham would be a colossal mistake for this team, just given the fact that you put two 3-techs next to each other. You use a 1st-round pick on a 3-tech when you have Quinnen Williams there. I'm all for getting a space-hitting 1-tech to play next to Quinnen. That is the ideal goal for this team. I'm hoping this team could follow that blueprint. 1,000%. Appreciate tuning in. Smash the like, hit subscribe, super chats, memberships go a long way. Here on the show, they get your raffle entries. Call into the show with the pinned comment. Keep the questions coming. We will get to those. I'm gonna stay on here a little longer, so throw all your questions in the chat. Christopher, see you in the chat. Appreciate you tuning in. Paul, appreciate you tuning in. What was I going to say? Paul says, I'm going to pull this up from Paul. Says, Will Campbell will be taken by the Patriots. That's interesting. And I think that would be a massive mistake by New England. I'm going on the AFC East Roundtable, by the way, tomorrow night, filling in for Richie. So check us out, 7 p.m. tomorrow. This is something that's really interesting. I think that would be a massive mistake. I think the Patriots' best bet, these are the 3 players. If I were the New England Patriots, if I was Eli Wolf, these are the guys I would consider. Top 3 from 3 to 1. 3, Ted McMillan. Need a wide receiver. I don't care. 2, Abdul Carter. 1, Travis Hunter. Will Campbell, I don't even think is in my top. I'd put Membu over Campbell. I really think drafting Campbell would be a massive mistake for a team that they need help on the offensive line 1,000%, not a top 4 pick. Our guy Andy Jets, who I will be hanging out with during the NFL draft, comes in, says trading down a little bit is what I'm hoping for. 100%. 100%. And I'm gonna let me check this out. I'm just gonna look at the teams on the where they're selecting and stuff. Like, let me look at these like Falcons at 15. We've heard that before. They want to leapfrog the Panthers, maybe trade with them any day of the week. Saints at 9, trade back, recoup a couple of picks, boom. 49ers at 11, they have a ton of picks. They won't need to use all of them. They might want to come up for, maybe Graham is the player they want. I wrote that in an article a few weeks ago. Maybe Graham is the player the 49ers would be interested in coming up for, just given the fact that look how much Robert Saleh loved to use Quinnen Williams. Mason Graham, similar size, similar physique, similar mold as a 3-tech. That's what I think would be a really, really solid scenario. Trade back a couple spots, recoup some assets. And matter of fact, before we get back to your questions, we're just going to fire up a quick 7-rounder here. I know we normally have you guys make the picks. This time I'm going to do the picks. Just want to see it because I know I love doing the interactive stuff, and we'll definitely do a few more mocks where you guys make the picks before the draft. I just want to show you guys, like, give you a real look of what I would do if I was Darren Muji in a mock draft. Pull this up. All right, so here we are, 7 rounds. We're gonna fire through this. Hold on. I want to be able to see what's happening. All right, Cam Ward, Hunter, Graham at 3. Paul, that's a good pick for you. That's a good pick for you. Genty at 5 is really, really interesting. This is super interesting. I was listening to Rich Eisen's show today. I listened to a lot of the clips afterwards because I can't catch it during school, but I listened to a lot of the YouTube clips that he cuts up, and his team, they do a great job cutting those clips up. And he said Genty to the Jaguars, I think on 2 shows ago, is a legit possibility. And he made a good point. ETN coming off a down season could potentially be a trade piece. Don't count that out. That's certainly interesting to look out for there. Tet. Okay. These are the guys gone. Tet, I'm not taking a cornerback. Barron's great player. Not taking a cornerback, excuse me. Walter Nolan, love Walter Nolan. I think he's a great, great player. Another one. Similar 3-tech type mold. No, thank you. Not at 7. Trade back, maybe. I don't want to take another 3-tech in the first round. I just don't. Warren, yeah. Membu. I mean, just to make a statement here, I'm taking Ted McMillan. You get your wide receiver 2 in the building. I'm going to worry about tight end one of the later rounds. I think getting your wide receiver 2 in the building here is super, super important. And I think that would be a great move for the Jets at 7. Shedeur falls to 21. All right. Booker at 27. That's interesting. Loveland at 32. Okay. Freaking Tyreek Williams, the guy I was looking at this whole time. Let's look at Norman Lott. Not as big as a 1-tech. Not as big as a 1-tech for me. I want a big 1-tech. Winston, I like. The injury concerns me. Higgins, we just took a wide receiver, and Tet. I want to take a cornerback this side. Donovan Jackson's interesting. I just want to wait. I don't want to take a tackle right now. Princely and Kuiper mocked this guy to the Jets. He is a freak. A great pass rusher for you. A great run stuffer for you. I'm going to take Princely here. I really am. Someone who's a 4-star recruit, someone who committed to Florida, spent 5 years in college. I'm really, really big on Princely. I think I might take him here. Someone who's just going to do everything for you. Known for his ability to change directions. Really, really like him. Yeah, I'm going to take Princely here. All right, back on at 73. Let's see. Henderson, second. Frick, Ursary's gone. All right. Again, now I really, really like Jonah. I really do. And you haven't taken a tackle yet. Is Strapillo there? You know, we could fire up another one after this too, and we can because we stuck in pick here. We could do a trade back in the next one, so I can do another one after this too, guys. So don't worry. Marcus Imbo's interesting. I just got to look at the other players. I wouldn't mind Mumbo at all. I just want to see. Took a wide receiver, took an edge. Can I just trade? Is there anyone who's nearby who I can just trade back? So I kind of want some more picks. All right, I got to zoom out. Sorry if you guys can't see it. Boom. Sorry. If I could trade back, if I could do this. Try to get 151 too. The 7 next year. Huh. Come on. Do this. Thank you. All right, sorry. I had to zoom out there. It's annoying with zooming in trades and stuff. Anyways, I just traded back like 7 spots and I got some extra picks. Yeah, I think this is our best move here. Let's see. Winston's still there. I want to take a tackle. Noel was someone I really, really like. Umbo's still there? No. Jonah is. I think I'm going to take Jonah. I just want to shore up that right tackle need sooner rather than later. I know I said I'm not a big proponent of it in the first round, but I certainly want to address it on the first 2 days. I don't want to be going into day 3 and just looking to try to capitalize on a dart throw. I want to be able to get someone in there who's going to come in and contribute right away. 100%. For those who are Mets fans, Juan Soto just tied the game up. LFGM. Let's go. Let's go Mets, baby. It's so funny how this team is first in the NL East and they're getting treated like they're one of the worst teams in baseball. The Mets hate recently has been wild. This team's special. This team is special. Back to the Jets, though. Wide receiver, Tet. Edge, Princely. Tackle, Jonah. Love how our last 2 picks, I can't pronounce either one of their last names, although I've watched film on them countless amount of times. All right, let's check. We got to get a tight end. I'm taking Helm here. Helm is a very, very good player. Someone who could develop into a run blocker for you, but I think he's going to be a really, really solid pass catcher for you right away. So wide receiver, edge, tackle, tight end. I don't know if I want to add cornerback depth this side. Billy Bowman's a heavy, heavy hitter. I really, really like Bowman. Mentions it Sycamore, does a great job. Mentions it here. Outstanding ball skills. That's what I look for in a safety. I want to add a true ball hawker alongside Cisco. I think you get 2 ball hawkers in that room. That could be really solid. Bowman's my pick here. Roll with Billy Bowman, and then we're back on. Shortly, I'm going to look to... Let's see. So wide receiver, edge, tackle. I want to see what I'm going to do here. We didn't take a space-eating defensive lineman yet. Who's going to be your 1 tech? Let me check this out. Let's see. Tim Smith, maybe. You want to know what I want to do so bad? I want to just take this guy, Desmond Watson, 449 pounds in the last round for the fun of it. I think that's what we might do. No, honesty though, I think I might have to take Kyle Williams here. I really do. This is someone who had a top 30 visit with the Jets, someone who's been a fast riser recently, coming off a great season, deep catches, screen yards, could do it all for you. 6 foot, 186 pounds. And I'm going to take Kyle Williams here. Add a second wide receiver. That would be a really, really solid pick for the Jets. Jet Up says, imagine if the Jets traded the 6 for Mark Andrews. I think he'd go for a 4th or a 5th, and I'd 1,000% be open to trading that for him. No matter what people are going to say about the drop, his age, he's one of the most productive tight ends in the league. I take that any day of the week for not only a team that immensely needs tight end help, but also just needs pass catchers in general. All right. McCord's there. I'm taking McCord. And not so fast. Kobe King. This is another guy who's going to be a great run defender, a very heavy hitter for you. Very heavy hitter. So I'm going Kobe King here. Could be that linebacker 3 for you. Provides that bigger build, adds some beef to which is a very, very light linebacker room right now for the Jets. I'm going to take Kobe King there. I think that's a solid pick. This team needs linebacker help. This team needs help at a lot of positions. Other than running back, if you keep Breece Hall and quarterback after you just signed Justin Fields, you could argue every other position, literally every other position needs help. From kicker to wide receiver. Literally every position, which is hilarious to think. That this team literally had Super Bowl aspirations a year ago, and here we are. All right, McCord's still there in the 6th. I think you got to take him. I want to take a developmental quarterback at some point in this year's draft, and if you get someone who I think is a really, really solid developmental option for your team, and he's still there late day 3 in the 6th round, I think you got to take him. And then here, you guys already know the pick I'm making. Why not bring him in and try him out? This could be like a fun player for you. Might as well see what you have. See what you have. That's Desmond Watson. We don't know what this guy could turn into. We've not seen an NFL player this big who could just this is someone who's just going to play forward. How does someone, my question is, how does someone his size, how are they not able to stop the run? That's the question. How is someone who weighs 449 pounds not able to get in the backfield and stop the run? Give this guy an opportunity in training camp. He's a 6th round pick. I'm not going to hate it at all. I think it could be a super, super fun player. If it's undrafted free agency too, I would be even more excited. The fact you didn't have to use a draft pick on him and it went that well. All right. Ted McMillan, my pick, gets an A. Princely gets a C. Boo. Jonah gets a B. Helm with a C. Ugh. Bowman with a C. Ugh. Williams with an A+. King with a C. McCord with an A+. Watson with a C. Overall grade A-. Solid job. Solid job. Top 23% of mocks. So, that is solid. All right. All right. Let me know what you guys thought in the chat. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe. Appreciate you guys as always. That was fun. I like firing up a mock draft whenever I can. So, appreciate you guys. Back tomorrow. 8. I don't know exactly what time because I'm on the round table. There will be a show sometime tomorrow, most likely past 8 o'clock. And then Thursday, and by the way, last chance to get your questions, comments, thoughts, memberships, super chats, raffle entries in here before we wrap up. And then Thursday, we got a super, super fun guest, Devin Jackson, NFL draft writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Will be joining us. So really, really, really looking forward to that. So make sure you tune in Thursday at 8 p.m. Back tomorrow, though. Don't know what time. Probably after 8 p.m. But we'll definitely be here no matter what. Anyways, you guys are the best. Appreciate you sticking with me as always. Sorry, no show yesterday to deal with some stuff, but you guys are the best. Appreciate your support as always. That'll do it for me. I'm your host, Connor Long, signing off here on NY Flight Jets Talk. No matter how bad it gets, no matter what this team does in the draft, we'll always be chanting JTS. Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go, baby. Peace out.